Throughout America's history, a number of U.S. presidents have been involved in highly publicized scandals involving sex and money during their terms of office. Jill Brooke spoke with the authors of White House Confidential, a book that chronicles presidential infidelity.
This team not only writes about presidents, one member also does impersonations of them. So what would President Clinton think of their book, White House Confidential?
If you look back, you'll see that we have a long history of, shall we say, flawed characters who have served in this office.
According to the authors, many presidents became experts at handling domestic affairs.
You only have to look to Thomas Jefferson, who had a 38-year affair with a 17-year-old girl when they first started, who was his slave, and FDR, who actually lived in the White House with his girlfriend as well as his wife.
To avoid a scandal, the authors say the Republican Party gave one of Warren Harding's mistresses hush money to get out of town.
The Republican Party sent her and her husband away with $25,000 and $2,000 a month in $1920.
But Grover Cleveland took a different approach when he was accused of fathering an illegitimate child.
It was a huge story, relatively speaking, every bit as big a story as the Monica Lewinsky story today. When Grover Cleveland's aides took him aside and said, "Boss, what do you want us to do about this?" he looked them straight in the eye and he said, "Tell the truth."
Saying the book is sourced from previously reported material, the authors also say Nixon may have had an affair with the cocktail waitress.
I can't even imagine him with his own wife, let alone someone else. I'm going to now caress your little appendages.
Ask not.
JFK trusted the press not to report on his affairs, as did LBJ. Now, it may seem that some presidents have had more partners than most law firms. So we asked the authors who have been loyal to their wives. Well, it turns out most have been.
Ronald Reagan unquestionably loved his wife, Nancy.
Well, she was always looking up at me with those adoring eyes of hers.
Other loyal, loving husbands include Truman, Jackson, Ford, and Teddy Roosevelt. Although it may seem that the authors are profiting from Clinton's troubles, they say the book is not only a scorecard for sex and scandal, but an opportunity for perspective.
It doesn't excuse bad behavior, but I think it's good for people to realize that this isn't the first time this has happened.
You solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute
The office of President.
Jill Brooke, CNN Entertainment News, New York.
And that's about it for now. We now go back to Lou in Atlanta. Lou?
All right, Lauren, and we're keeping our eye on the White House. The first family, as we mentioned earlier, is about to board Marine One on the lawn of the White House and head for Andrews Air Force Base and then on to Martha's Vineyard for their vacation. They'll be taking their self-conscious walk out here very shortly, and CNN will cover that live when that happens. We'll take a break and be right back.